What is going on, folks? I am Goat. Welcome back to Warframe. We are going to talk about the Trinity touch-ups. So, and yes, you can see I have Nourish. I'm just going to leave it, okay? Because honestly, her normal first ability is just kind of mad at me. Let's see. Yeah, Well of Life. Yeah, basically make a motherfucker float. Like, yeah, there is function to Well of Life. Okay, there really is. Don't pay attention to that build. It's an old-ass build. There is function to something like Well of Life, okay? If from a squad perspective, making a motherfucker float, having somebody be able to shoot that floating motherfucker and heal themselves, it's all fine and dandy. I do not use Trinity in that way at all. This is the same fucking build that I have been running for a hot goddamn minute, and with Nourish, it works perfectly fine. So her passive is now allies in affinity range gain 50% of Trinity's max energy as health. Pretty handy. Still makes her very good for squad support. Nourish is again for just imbuing damage and then viral damage, and then of course energy regen, which does work with this because everything else is on duration, so that's a good time. Speaking of durations, that's the big time buff. There's two really big buffs that I am very happy to see with Trinity. One is she got a base duration increase, which is something this girl was in desperate need of, which made just a shit ton of ability casting and just didn't make her so much fun to play, albeit very good. Just stand there and just shield tank by casting abilities is a good fucking time. But having to cast the ability so fucking often just made it very weird. And then her third ability got a buff by being scaled by damage, so you get more linked enemies. And of course, you can recast something like Energy Vampire in a different direction. So, I mean, you get the pulses of energy, you kill a motherfucker, you still do true damage, you get the energy conversion with Vampire Leech, so on and so forth. So it's a good time. Link, you can recast that one as well. So, and again, scaled by, instead of just having the 3 base links and that's it, the damage that the ability strength I have now has me able to link to 6 enemies. With Abating Link, I also get the armor strip, which is a good time. And then Blessing is just, health restoration, damage reduction, and yes, it will buff your shields if you got her built the right way. Yes, good times. So the shards are for duration, 1 for casting speed, because she does suffer from the typical animations that DE loves doing of horrible animations. So the build that I've been running for quite a while is still the same fucking build that I'm running. I mean, sure, could I do something like, energy siphon? Yeah, but I can also just get energy from the second ability or nourish, either way. The only real damage that actually affects her in a very negative way is toxin damage, so I personally prefer arcane resistance because you just don't take toxin damage this way. So it's a really good time, and then multificiency for just that much more ability duration, because you are going to build up a fuck ton of shields with this build. So obviously the focus is a shit ton of duration, a decent, a pretty goddamn respectable amount of ability strength, some range. And the reason for that some range is that her range is very forgiving. So you can actually go by sacrificing range and just running something as simple as Augur Reach, and it works just fine. I mean, if you're really all about that, you can change out Power Drift. That's completely feasible. You change out Power Drift, it's going to put you down to 199. But then again, you can put something like Cunning Drift on, give yourself an additional 15% range. There's a lot of options for the Axillus. This personally works just fine and dandy. Okay? Just really does. Works just fine and dandy. The weapons are whatever the fuck you want to put on her, because she is just going to stay alive, and you can pretty much put whatever you want to and just continually kill armor-stripped enemies, and when that armor-stripped enemy is dead, the link will automatically link to another enemy, and you can continually fuck them up. So the weapons kind of don't matter. As long as they're decent, you're going to kill them. They're just going to fucking die. So, go show this shit off. I mean, for anybody who does run with her first ability, I get it. Okay, I'm not taking anything away from that. I'm just kind of like, why not give a buff? I mean, Roar works just fine too. I just like the viral buff from Nourish. Let's see, like here. Let's not, no bougie pads, no nothing. We're just gonna sit here and let her. I mean, look at this, 62 fucking seconds. Well, and it was actually, I think it was 64, but you can literally just stand here and get your energy. Now, for the case of where we have spawned, we're gonna make this go much faster. Go to the orb, do the job, bingo bongo. Yay.
Life support has been cut off.
I'm not even going to run to the Acolyte on this because it's going to be pretty proof positive as to why this works. So we do Link, we do a little bit of Blessing here, just in case we want to do that. Here, fuck this guy and everything he stands for. Nobody likes this. Oh look, he already died. What's up, buddy? And yes, I'm running a Hound on here, as I have been doing for quite a while, because it's actually pretty fucking handy. Here, hold on, hold still, buddy. Look at this guy, armor strip. Now it's just gonna reach out and find another motherfucker. I can just take my time. Doesn't really fucking matter. Hey, bud. Hey, bud. Hi, how you doing? See? Now, with something like the Incarnate Torrid, for example, with something like the Incarnate Torrid or the Boar or any of that shit, this just turns into mass murder, okay?
Prepare for life support.
You just find a crowd and they don't exist anymore. I mean, has Trinity getting increased duration really been nice? Oh, you bet your sweet fucking cheeks it does. I mean, bye-bye, guys. I mean, just like, there was 2 Xmas there. They just skadoosh. Gone.
I've delivered a life support capsule to the area. Activating it will buy you more time.
I mean, like, how much of this do I really need to show off? I can just stand here and get shot if you want. I ain't gotta die. So, I mean, yeah, Trinity, once you find that sweet spot build, it's kind of really good, and all this is done, all this rework has done is just completely made her better. So, totally not mad at this. But that's Trinity. She's simple, a couple of augment mods, yes, some shards. Do they need to be Tau Forged? I would suggest a Tau Forge for the casting speed, but the others can just be regular old Crimson shards that you get from Netracells. It doesn't fucking matter. But just, 4 duration shards, and the build as follows, and believe me, everything just dies. And you don't. That's the nice factor, is they die, you don't. So, yeah, it's a good time. So, folks, I want to thank you very much for watching. As always, catch you in the next one, all right?